For my global weather project, I decided to create a story map series in the tab style. I like how the tab style layout is easy to navigate and keeps each section separate. My story map is called a Disaster in Japan, how the earthquake and tsunami of 2011 brought devastation to northeast Japan. What began as a typical day in Japan on March 2011 soon turned into a major tragedy. At 2:46 p.m., a massive earthquake occurs off the northeastern coast of Japan's main island of Honshu, which is 231 miles northeast of Tokyo. This resulted in a series of large tsunami waves that caused death and destruction to coastal areas in northeast Japan. A catastrophic nuclear meltdown was also a result of the earthquake and subsequent tsunami. This disaster resulted in approximately 20,000 deaths and around $220 billion in damages. To the right, my main photo shows the country of Japan. The next photo shows some of the headlines from around the world, and the bottom photo shows the aftermath at a Japanese airport. The red circle in the image to the right shows where the earthquake originated. The epicenter was about 80 miles east of Sendai, Japan. It was recorded at a depth of 18.6 miles beneath the floor of the Pacific Ocean and at a 9.0 magnitude on the Richter scale. The earthquake was completely unexpected and it had not been predicted by many scientists. Many had predicted a smaller earthquake would hit Honshu region. The picture at the bottom shows the hardest hit areas in orange, and the red dot is the epicenter of the earthquake. The Japanese tsunami of 2011 was caused by an underwater earthquake. When the tectonic plates shift or suddenly rise or fall, water is displaced and subsequently huge waves are launched. These enormous rolling waves became a tsunami. Tsunamis can travel across the ocean at up to 500 miles per hour. At first, in deep water, the waves are very small. As they approach shallow water in the shoreline, they slow and start to build up strength and height. The waves rise up at great heights because the top of the wave travels faster than the bottom. The photo at the right shows the tectonic plates located near Japan. The Pacific plate under the Philippines plate caused the earthquake. The picture to the left shows how a tsunami works. Many Japanese cities have constructed seawalls as a way to minimize the damage from tsunamis. Large tsunamis, including the tsunami in 2011, are very rare. The seawall offered little protection from the massive 33-foot waves. The image to the right shows when the tsunami crashed over the seawall in Makio City, Japan. Oftentimes, when the tsunami approaches land, it is the bottom part of the wave that arrives first. It can work like a vacuum that sucks the coastal water out while exposing the seafloor. This serves as an important warning sign because usually in just a few minutes, massive wave will hit land. Being aware of this warning sign can help save lives, giving people a few minutes to escape inland. The image below shows recorded travel times beginning when the earthquake first occurred. In a matter of hours, the tsunami waves had traveled to many distant places around the globe. For example, the waves, now losing intensity, hit parts of Alaska in under 6 hours, hit parts of California and Oregon in under 12 hours, with the waves around 9 feet tall. The image to the right shows just how strong the tsunami wave is. It totally destroys everything in its path. The Fukushima Dai-nuclear power plant suffered major damage after the tsunami. Immediately after the tsunami, the plant was shut down. The cooling system was running on a backup generator, which ended up failing due to severe damage. This resulted in a nuclear meltdown in the reactors at the power plant. Levels of radiation began to rise, and the area was evacuated in a 12.5 mile radius around the power plant. It was found that the leaks caused contamination in the soil and water. The top photo shows the location of the nuclear power plant and its proximity to the epicenter. The photo to the right and the center photo show damage to the power plant, and the bottom photo shows the evacuation zone around the plant. Aochi, a fishing town in northeast part of Japan, saw massive destruction after a tsunami hit. The population, around 17,000, was instantly reduced by half after the tsunami. The images to the right and below show the city of Aochi in the aftermath of the tsunami. It shows how most of the buildings were completely destroyed and wiped off their foundations by the powerful wave. You can also see the massive pile of debris that has been cleared up from the landscape. And the 2011 tsunami hit the city of Sendai with a 33-foot wave, destroying everything in its path. The water reached several miles inland, despite the fact that the city was 80 miles from the epicenter. Sendai was, with a population of more than 1 million people, lost several thousands of residents in this tragedy. The large number of casualties was due to having very little warning before the tsunami struck. Many more thousands of people found themselves homeless. The photos show the destruction in the city. The city of Natori in southeastern part of Japan experienced major devastation following the earthquake and tsunami of 2011. Many houses were swept into the ocean as a resulting strong current. Natori, with a population around 78,000 people, reported 911 deaths and 71 residents missing after this tragedy. Here we see more damage caused by the tsunami. The city of Kinsuma, known as a major fishing port in eastern Japan, experienced great loss in this aftermath of the earthquake and tsunami in 2011. The city, with a population of over 73,000, reported 1,000 deaths, as well as 383 residents were missing. The city of Inchumaki had a population of approximately 161,000 before the earthquake and the tsunami in 2011. They experienced the loss in around 3,500 residents who were either killed or listed as missing. Prior to the disaster, a concrete wall and breakwaters were built to help protect the city. These walls were no match for the tsunami. Almost the entire city's buildings were destroyed. Situated in northeast Japan, Rikuzenkata suffered greatly after the aftermath of the tsunami. With a population around 23,000, Rikuzata lost nearly 75% of its homes. The amounted approximately 1,554 deaths, with 385 people missing. Higashima, well known for its beaches and bays, suffered the loss of 1,134 people. 2/3 of the city submerged underwater after the tsunami, and 73% of homes were destroyed. They decided to recycle 99.2% of the debris collected after the tsunami and reuse it in the rebuilding efforts. They have become a role model for other cities who experience disasters. Through education and improved tsunami warning system, Japan is now better equipped to deal with the large earthquake/tsunami scenarios. Many citizens choose not to evacuate or move inland or to higher ground during the 2011 disaster. This was a hard lesson to learn, but through continually educating the population on the proper procedures for this type of disaster, the people of Japan should be more prepared in the future. Since this tragedy, Japan has invested in improved system of seismic sensors as well as seafloor earthquake and tsunami observation systems to ensure minimum fatalities in the future. The last tab has all the sources I used to create my story map. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something about the Japanese tsunami of 2011.